Mike, he's fainted. Mary! Mary!
Well, they waited a few minutes. Joe and Mike and Mary. Minutes that seemed like hours. Papa Bauer finally came down and let them in. And there they were, Mary and Joseph and Mike Riley, in a stable near Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
That's pretty good. Mary and Joseph and Mike Riley. Yeah, but what about the shepherds and the wise men?
Oh, they came. And there was a star, too.
Oh, come now.
Would you like me to finish, John?
By all means, I wouldn't miss this for the world.
No, right. Go on.
Well, Mike and Papa Bauer started calling up doctors for Mary. But it was Christmas Eve. It didn't seem any of them were at home. They must have tried about 20 doctors, going right down the list. But all they got were maids who said they'd try and find Dr. So-and-so and tell him about it. They were getting desperate. Mary and Joe were upstairs in Papa Bauer's room, and they all knew Mary's baby would be born soon.
This one's out, too.
My.
What do you have to do to get a doctor around here, anyway?
Well, Mike, it's, Christmas Eve.
Yeah, well, look, you keep on the phone, Bauer. I'm going upstairs. Let me know if you have any luck.
I keep my drum.
How is she, Joe?
Oh, I don't know. Did you get a doctor?
The old man's still on the phone.
You mean you can't find a doctor? Oh, Mike, it's not fair. You can't expect her to have a baby in a stable with no one to help her.
Don't worry, Joe. Please, darling.
Don't worry. It's all right to say, but we're only kidding ourselves.
Now, wait a minute, kid. Don't make it any worse for her.
May I have some water?
Sure, Mary, all the water you want.
Here you are, honey.
Thank you, dear.
Now, you just sit down, Joe. No, right here on the bed. Listen, Joe. You said something about a woman having a baby all by herself in a stable. Well, I'm not exactly a religious guy, but I can remember my grandfather telling me a story I never forgot.
Oh, Mike, this is no time for stories.
It's always time for this story, Joe. I can still see the old boy's gentle smile as he told it to me. It went something like this. The birth of young Jesus, he'd say, was a miraculous thing. It happened in those days that Joseph came to Bethlehem with his wife Mary, who was great with child. There was no room at the inn for them, or accommodations. But there in a stable, she brought forth her firstborn child, a son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes. And because she didn't have a crib, she put him in a manger. Now, in that part of the country near Bethlehem, in the Holy Land, there were some shepherds keeping watch over their flocks by night. And what do you suppose happened? An angel of the Lord came down to them. The glory of the Lord shone all around them. They were pretty scared, these shepherds. But the angel said to them, you don't have to be afraid. I'm bringing you tidings of great joy, which shall belong to all people. Right now, in the city of Bethlehem, a child is born. He's the Savior of all men, and you'll find him lying in a manger. And suddenly, with the angel was a heavenly host praising God and saying, Glory be to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men.
It's beautiful, Mike.
I only wish I could have told it to you like my grandfather did.
Mike, come and sit down.
Well, I guess maybe Bauer caught up with the doctor.
Oh, I hope so.
I'll be right back. What is it, Bauer? Did you find the doctor?
No, but listen. Do you
Listen.
hear?
Do I... Wait a minute. That's police sirens.
I wonder what is the trouble yet.
I don't know. Hey, they're coming here.
Is he coming?
Maybe now we can get some help. Don't you see? Maybe they can round up a doc or take Mary to a hospital.
All right, you guys, come on, stick 'em up.
It's okay, Chief. I got him covered.
Hey, what goes on here? Are you coppers nuts or something?
Yeah, what do you want?
You'll find out.
Keep reaching for the ceiling.
Now, wait a minute, you guys, and keep quiet, will you? There's somebody upstairs who needs a doctor and needs him back.
We know all about it. We brought a doctor along.
Did you hear that, Mike?
Yeah.
All right, Dr. Henshaw. I'll keep these two guys covered. You upstairs. You too, Wilson. And be careful. They may be desperate.
Okay, come on, Doc.
Say, Chief, what's the big idea?
You phoned for a doctor, didn't you?
Sure, but we didn't hope for this kind of service.
I am a quiet, law-abiding man. Everybody knows Papa Bao.
Never mind. Stand up against the wall, you two. Ah, what's your name?
Mike Riley.
I suppose you don't know anything about the stick-up at the country club tonight.
Stick-up? Oh, listen, Chief, I'm a truck driver on my way to Pittsburgh.
Ah, now I'll tell one.
Well, it's true. But truck's parked just up the road with a frozen radiator.
Hey, Swenson, go see if there's a truck around here.
Yeah, Chief.
What I can't understand is who sent you here.
Yeah, all we did was phone for a doctor.
And that's where you made your mistake.
Huh?
One of the doctors you phoned was Dr. Henshaw, the one upstairs. He's a member of the Bethlehem Vigilance Committee.
The which?
You heard me. A group of professional businessmen who make it a point to suppress crime.
And what's the criminal about what's happening here?
Quiet. 3 members of the committee were at the country club when you pulled up that stick-up. Dr. Henshaw, Lawyer Marshy, and Mr. Davis, who owns the Golden Rule department store. And Dr. Henshaw's maid phoned and said there was a rush call out here. They put 2 and 2 together and called me at headquarters.
Well, I'm afraid they're going to be surprised.
Oh, yeah? We'll see who's surprised. The job was pulled by a mob of 4. The 4th guy was a little slow on the getaway. As he was leaving, he saw a pendant that Mrs. Henshaw was wearing and stopped to rip it off. By the time he got to the door, the steward had a chance to get the gun out of his desk, and he winged this 4th guy in the leg. So naturally, he'd be needing a doctor.
And so these 3 wise guys think they can pin it on us. Chief, you may not know it, but you've seen a miracle happen tonight.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No?
You will find out.
Okay now, Chief.
What's okay, Wilson?
We got here just in time.
Where's the doc?
Oh, he's upstairs. And you ought to see the little rascal who caused all this commotion.
This ought to be good, Bauer.
Yeah.
I don't see what's so funny.
You should have seen him, Chief. Sweet as a lamb.
Huh? Didn't he make any fuss?
Not a single yip out of him.
Did he pull any rough stuff?
Only grabbed hold of my finger.
Wilson, you've been drinking. Now pull yourself together. Listen carefully. What did he say? Will he talk?
Well, in a year, maybe. You can't expect too much.
Wilson, what are you talking about?
The baby, of course.
What? Did you say a baby?
That's what he said. I heard him.
Well, of all the flat-footed...
Now, Chief, watch your language. There's a child in the house.
I was going to kiss him, but Dr. Henshaw said I might give him germs.
Did you hear that, Bauer? It's a him.
Yeah, is it not wonderful? And in my stable already.
Listen. Will you be listening to him now? With a pair of lungs like those, there's no telling what he'll make of himself in the world. And now, Chief, if you'll put that gun down, I'll be on my way upstairs.
Why, I think I'll go with you.
Oh, sure, and why not now? And you know, once the little darling sets his eyes on my beaming countenance, he'll be nothing but smiles. And while I'm at it, Chief, I'm going to ask him what he was doing at the country club tonight. You know, he's much too young to be doing gallivanting. So you see, gentlemen, there was Mary, Joseph, and the baby in that stable in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. There were the doctor, the lawyer, and the merchant, 3 very wise and good men. And though they'd made quite a mistake, the police were there, too. Shepherds of the law, you might call them. In many ways, it was like the story of that other Bethlehem. And, as I said before, there was even a star.
A star?
Oh, yes. Remember I said the policemen were trailing a stolen pendant?
Yes.
Well, that pendant was a star sapphire. And that's what the wise men and the shepherds were looking for when they arrived at Papa Bauer's stable.
Well, star sapphire. Think of that.
And did these wise men of yours bring gifts?
Yes, sir. The merchant, Mr. Davis, brought clothes for the baby from his store, dressed him fine and warm. And the doctor gave Mary and Joe a big Christmas dinner, brought it all the way out to Papa Bauer's. Mike was there and half the police force.
And what about the lawyer?
Oh, he did his part. He made all the arrangements for Mary and the baby to go to her folks in St. Louis, in real style.
What do you think of that?
What do I think of it? I think it's one of the most heartwarming stories I ever heard. I think it calls for a drink.
Right, and you must join us, waiter. What do you say to some hot Christmas toddies?
You're very kind, sir, but I must ask you to excuse me.
Nonsense. Your story has turned what promised to be a long, dreary evening into a most enjoyable one. An evening I I shall never forget. Hey, Gordon?
I should say so. This is the first Christmas Eve in years that I haven't felt,
Lonely is the word you're looking for, Gordon.
Yes, that's it. Lonely.
If I may say so, gentlemen, there's never any need for loneliness, and especially at Christmas time. There's a cure for loneliness, and it's very simple. All you have to do is to find someone who is poor and unhappy and bring them the warmth of charity and understanding. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to attend to my duties.
You know, Townsend, there's something strange about that fellow.
Yes, but I did enjoy his story.
Townsend, maybe there's more to Christmas than we thought. Possibly we've built a shell around us, a shell through which the good things, the kind things can't get through.
Yes, and it took a waiter to show it to us.
Well, Townsend, I wonder what that fellow's doing about those toddies. I'd better ring.
Now, why do you suppose he wouldn't have a Christmas toddy with us?
Oh, I don't know. Probably he's...
Gentlemen, did you ring?
Oh, it's you, Tom.
Why, yes, Mr. Gordon. Naturally.
Oh, I thought you were off tonight, Tom.
Oh, no, sir. Not on Christmas Eve.
Well, then why did you have that other man wait on us?
Other man? What other man?
Why, the man who just left us. The man we've been talking to.
I'm afraid I don't understand, sir. My station is just outside the door. Aside from you two gentlemen, I've seen no one enter or leave this room.
What?
That's right, sir. And I can assure you that we have no extra waiters on tonight.
No extra waiters? What?
Wait, Gordon. All right, Tom. Please bring us 3 hot toddies.
Did you say 3, sir?
Yes, Tom. 3. 1 for Mr. Gordon, 1 for me, and 1 for the, shall we say, the spirit of Christmas.
This is Victor Jory, friends. I do hope you've enjoyed our Christmas play. And you know, this Christmas is unusual because Americans will observe Christmas this year in many, many parts of the world in many different ways. Yes, in many different ways. As one small voice in the never-to-be-still spirit of Christmas, I want to express you the deep and sincere holiday wishes of all of us who bring you Vic's Matinee Theater. Our producers, our cast, our director, our writers, and our technical men, Mr. Warno and his orchestra, and our sponsor, Vic's. To you, our audience, we say thanks for your many expressions of appreciation for our efforts, the knowledge that you're enjoying our productions, and to your relatives in the service of our country who can't be with you tomorrow, well, God bless them and bring them back safely for another Christmas. Thank you, and a very Merry Christmas.
Today's play was by David Victor and Herbert Little, Jr. and was based on an original story by Charles Tazwell. It was directed by Richard Sanville. Next Sunday, Vic's Matinee Theater will bring you the story of a woman who couldn't spare the time for love and a man who changed her mind. The gay, romantic Paramount comedy in which Claudette Colbert and Fred McMurray made such a delightful couple. Next week, No Time for Love, starring Victor Jory. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.